All right, we're here with James Barber. Can you tell us about yourself a little bit and background in MMA?
I started a few years ago, probably about three. Beginning, I started off with a couple injuries, so I had to take some time off. But the past year or so, I've been training pretty hard, nonstop, having a lot of fights, just getting more experience.
All right, how long have you been training at WMMA?
Oh, what has it been, like a year and a half now, maybe a little bit longer than that. I'm not really sure. I can't remember.
All right. Were you a high school or a college athlete?
Yeah, I went to high school down in Illinois, Pecatonica, Illinois. I played football, baseball, wrestled. Then I came up to Wisconsin to go to Carroll University. I played baseball and football there as much as I could without getting a couple injuries, and that's what I was talking about before. But yeah, that's what I did.
So in the ring, what would you say is your main discipline? Boxing, jiu-jitsu, wrestling?
Kind of like I said, I started off wrestling in high school, but ever since then, coming to WMMA, my game is a lot more well-rounded. I feel comfortable wherever the fight goes.
All right. Is there anything you've been working on in particular to become even more well-rounded, like you said?
Just going to jiu-jitsu every day, going to kickboxing, just doing every possible class that I can to, make every one of the skills better these days in MMA. If you're not well-rounded in everything, you're not going to be successful. So.
All right. Can you shed a little light on your conditioning and preparation for this fight coming up February 11th and past fights?
Just making sure, get a good lifting schedule in because, weight training is important for everything. And then going with the cardio conditioning here as much as I can, as well as, just sparring. Sparring, if you can't be conditioned sparring, you're not going to be good in a fight. So and that's one of the most important things as well.
All right. So who do you train with? And who are your partners in sparring and wrestling and jiu-jitsu?
Oh, well, Carroll Wrestling Team helps us out with that when they come around. We do a lot of wrestling with them. Other than that, we got quite a few people here between JR, Joe and Ed Blake, Emilio Torres, Eddie Black. We got a whole bunch of different guys, as well as some of the guys that are going to be fighting soon. We got Dakota and Harrison Howard. We got Adam. There's quite a few different people here that come and help us out. Troy Paul. I forgot some, but.
All right. Can you talk about previous fights and what you've learned and taken out of them from just your experience in the cage?
Oh, well, as an amateur, each fight's a learning experience. Losses, most of my losses have just been a couple little mistakes, and you just got to learn how to correct those. Example, we get put in a triangle, the whole next couple weeks you got to practice getting out of triangles, make sure you do it. Each fight's a learning experience, whether it's a win or a loss, especially as an amateur, and that's really what I've learned out of it. I mean, from all my losses, I've learned a lot more than I have from my wins. So I just got to keep learning with every fight. That's pretty much how I look at it, I should say.
Can you talk about future plans, goals that you have in near future, long distance?
Well, first of all, I got this fight on the 11th. I want to get another title, bring it back to Waukesha MMA. Eventually, just like anybody, plan to go pro. Have a good career and just train as hard as I can. Grow as a person, grow as a mixed martial artist. Just overall make myself a better person through this sport.
All right. Reasons why you love MMA?
It's just competition. It's the most pure form of competition, as well as camaraderie. You fighting and sparring with all these guys in the gym each day, coming out and working with Reese. It's just grow friendships. Most people don't do something like this. It's another form of competition. You got football, baseball. Those are all team sports. Working with a whole team to complete a goal. And in fighting, it's one-on-one. You put yourself up against another person, and I just don't think there's anything more pure than that.
Oh. Who's going to be in your corner for February 11th?
Well, definitely Reese Shaner, and then probably one of the Blake brothers. I'm not really sure yet.
All right. What can you tell us about yourself that makes you stand out from the rest of the crowd?
I try to work as hard as I possibly can. Get in as much training as my body will allow, as much training as I can with time. And that's all you can really do. Hard work and dedication is gonna outwork skill anytime. If somebody's got skill and they don't work hard, they're not going to be successful. So I just try to work as hard as I can and get as much out of each day of training that I can.
Is there anything about yourself that you would like the fans to know and maybe contribute to the sport?
Just that, I'm not out there to hurt anybody. I'm not out there to cause grudges. I'm just out there for sport, and anybody who can get into the cage and compete like this, I have a lot of respect for them because not everybody can do something like this.
All right. And any shout-outs before we wrap it up?
Shout out to Waukesha MMA, Reese Shaner, all my training partners, sponsors, Donnybrook Fighting Gear, Concede, SJ Nutrition. I got a ton of different ones. I know I should have forgot some, but just want to thank everybody that's helped me out along the way.
All right. This is Kyle Carroll at uscombatsports.com. James Barber, thank you very much. We're with Reese Shaner, James Barber's coach from WMMA. Can you elaborate and explain to us how James has developed over as a fighter over the past 8 fights?
I tell you the work ethic, that he came with, and the work ethic that he has now, the ability to have an open mind, to try new concepts. That's really what sets James apart from a lot of fighters, I believe.
All right. Where do you see his career going from here in MMA?
I tell you, I can see James, especially with his work ethic. He does have talent. That plus the work ethic, I see him going to the big show.
All right.
Is that right around the corner? To be honest, is that right around the corner? No. But do I see that? Yes, I do.
All right. Is there any set of skills or unique about him that he has that he brings to the game?
I tell you, since when I saw him that last fight, how calm he stayed in the fight. How calm it was in the heat of the fight, how calm he was. So it's a strong mind. I think that really sets him apart.
All right. Thank you very much.